This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for July 13, 2023. And in the news this evening, treacherous betrayal, PNP condemns outing of SAF Deputy Mayor. The People's National Party has issued a strong condemnation of Thursday's removal of Dan Delancey from the post of Deputy Mayor of Savannah-Lamar. His removal came as the three former PNP councillors joined with the Jamaica Labour Party councillors to move a motion of no confidence in the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation. The former PNP councillors' support for the JLP motion is a treacherous betrayal of the trust placed in them by the good citizens of Westmoreland, PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell said in a statement on Thursday afternoon. He also said that the charges of non-performance put forth in the motion are baseless and spurious. Up to last week, Councillor Delancey enjoyed the confidence of the three recently resigned councillors. Further, there has never been even a suggestion of non-performance during Delancey's term as a deputy mayor, Campbell said. He continued, the PNP stands united in condemning these trumped-up motions and the collusive actions of the three resigned councillors with their JLP counterparts. We call on the citizens of Westmoreland to see through this transparent political ploy and recognize it for what it is, a calculated attempt to undermine the integrity and effectiveness of the council. Delancey was replaced by independent councillor Ian Miles, who represents the Little London division. Female bartender charged for fatal stabbing. An 18-year-old bartender is now behind the bars after she was charged with the murder of a man in her community of Mount Ogle, St. Andrew on July 8. Rochelle Watson, otherwise called Miss Jane, has been charged with the murder. The victim has been identified as 29-year-old Ryan West, a laborer of the same community. The police say about 8:30 p.m., Watson and West were having a dispute when Watson allegedly armed herself with a knife and stabbed him in the upper body. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, West was assisted to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Watson was subsequently arrested and charged on Wednesday. 6 in custody after seizure of firearms, notebook, 14 cell phones with overseas residents info in Portland. 6 men were arrested after 2 homemade firearms, a notebook, and 14 cell phones containing information about overseas residents were seized during an operation at Orrit Lane, Buff Bay, Portland on Wednesday. Reports from the Port Maria police are that about 1:30 p.m., lawmen carried out an operation in the area when a premises was searched and the 2 firearms found. A further search of the property revealed 1 notebook and 1 Samsung cellular phone containing the identity and contact information of persons living overseas. 13 additional cellular phones were found in a bag inside the dwelling. Another premises in the area was searched and the 6 men were taken into custody. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Portland man accused of trying to suffocate partner offered bail. The Portland taxi operator, who allegedly attempted to suffocate his common-law wife in May, has been offered bail in the sum of $800,000. Ryan Stewart, 37, was offered bail following an application by his attorneys John Jacobs and Courtney Rowe. Mr. Stewart is to reappear in the Morante Bay Parish Court on September 14. He is charged with intent to commit murder, assault occasioning bodily harm, malicious destruction of property, and simple larceny. Reports are that about 2:30 a.m. on May 21, Mr. Stewart allegedly attacked his common-law spouse and pushed her in a concrete wall, causing injuries. He also reportedly destroyed her cellular phone and a laptop computer. In a bid to escape the abuse, the woman relocated to Johnson Mountain in St. Thomas. But Mr. Stewart turned up at her house and allegedly attacked her, this time attempting to suffocate her with a pillow. He is also accused of stealing her debit cards and personal identification cards. St. Catherine councillors still waiting for salary increase. Chairman of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation, Norman Scott, is calling for the government to pay salary increases and the retroactive sums due to councillors. He made the call at today's sitting of the corporation's monthly meeting. "I am seeing where members of parliament have received their increases nearly 3 months ago, and there's still nothing for us. We need it now," Scott said. Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of the corporation, Andre Griffiths, told the councillors that his office has sent a request to the Minister of Local Government and is yet to get a definitive reply. Scott then requested that Griffiths write to the Finance Secretary in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service regarding the matter. "We are seeking an answer by tomorrow to see when we will get a directive on where we are with the issue," Scott continued. Under the new compensation review, councillor salaries moved from $1.6 million per annum to $5 million as at April 1. Chugit party promoter in alleged $222 million fraud case granted bail. Promoter of the French Connection and the Chugit parties, Andrew Wright, who is charged in an alleged $222 million fraud case, was granted bail on Thursday after a renewed application by his lawyer, King's Counsel Peter Champagny. Wright was granted bail in the amount of $10 million with strict reporting conditions. His next appearance in the Supreme Court is on September 25. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency arrested and charged Wright and 4 others in April in connection with an alleged $222 million fraud at the state-owned Institute of Sports between 2011 and 2017. 3 other persons, including an employee, are charged in the case. In making the bail application, Champagny told the court that his client is the subject of a freezing order in relation to his bank accounts and would hardly be in any position to interfere or influence the police investigation, as the prosecution argued. Wright, a former financial controller at InSports, is on charges of larceny as a servant, conspiracy to defraud, and the breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act, with the 6 other persons who were previously granted bail. Wright has denied the allegations. Attorney Nika Pagan also appears with Champagny. Mocha alleges that Wright, Rudolph Barnes, O'Neill Hope, Johnny Mills, and Andrea Picton were part of a team of former InSports employees who wrote, signed, and cashed fraudulent checks for payees who were neither employed nor contracted to the agency. Mocha said the suspected fraud and other irregularities were detected by InSports in 2017 during an examination of its financial records. Inmates throw urine on police inspector. 3 men yesterday accused the leadership and the staff at the corporate area lockups of discriminating against them, allegedly because of their sexual preferences. The men said that they face discrimination daily and pleaded with the judge to have them moved to the more favorable Kingston Central lockup. The men are before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court after being charged for common assault and using abusive and calumnious language following an incident at the lockups earlier this year. It was shared with the court that the men threw urine on a police inspector. One of them, who previously retained an attorney, informed the senior parish judge Paula Blake Powell on Wednesday that he no longer needed legal representation as he intended to plead guilty to the charges. "Your Honor, she no longer represents me because I want to plead guilty. We did it, yes, we threw the PNR, but it was just a little bit that catch on our clothes," he explained. Blake Powell said that while she noted the men's admission of guilt, she would prefer to have the complainant present in court, but that the men were aggrieved by that suggestion. "Your Honor, we plead guilty because we want it for done now. She now come court because she knows say a lie she a tell. She dey over the station right now," one of the other defendants said. Hearing the concerns of the men, the judge issued a subpoena for the complainant's attendance on the next court hearing. One of the accused, who is also before the court for simple larceny, and another, who has another matter in St. Anne later this month, were remanded in custody until July 20 to allow time for the file to be completed. The third man was also remanded until then. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.